bridge that is to be constructed between the old Roosevelt Bridge and the existing railroad bridge. That did meet our desired criteria, or the current geometry that we've worked with meets our criteria of tying down before the first approach to the southwest St. Lucie Avenue, and tie down before Fern on the north. It actually improved the geometrics of the rail alignment just slightly, enough so that we could get a little bit more speed out of this curve. Everybody probably recognizes that that's a severe curve, and we were able to gentle it up just a little bit through this. Most importantly, we were able to achieve significantly improved navigation clearances with this solution. And let me back up and say that this is preliminary study. Obviously, there's got to be engineering done, but these were the results of the study. The existing clearances in this slide are shown in the red, 50 feet horizontal, 6 feet 6 vertical. And the proposed clearances with the preferred alternative are shown in yellow, 16 feet vertical and 90 feet horizontal. Comparing that to the adjacent bridges, the old Dixie Highway Bridge, which is a double leaf bascule, is about 14 feet, so it's a couple of feet higher at mean high water. It's the old Roosevelt's got a horizontal clearance of about 80 feet, so we're about 10 feet more than the old Roosevelt. And the new Roosevelt's got a vertical of 65 feet and horizontal of 90. So we match the horizontal at the new Roosevelt. We don't have a depiction here, but one other thing I think that is important to note about this preliminary preferred alternative is right now there's a bit of a jog in the sailing line through these three spans. This solution would actually line all three of these bridges up such that the center line of the sailing line would be a straight line through all three. Where we're at right now, as I said, we're just wrapping up the scoping study. Hope to put a bow on that this week. We are in the process of seeking funding for the next steps. FECR has submitted a FDOT SIS grant application. They submitted that a week or two ago. Expect to hear about that later this year. And we're also, our government affairs folks are looking at opportunities at the federal level for funding through the new infrastructure program. Next steps, once we've identified funding, are design and permitting. We've got to finish the design, obviously. This is just a highly conceptual design. You know, we feel like the design is probably an 18 to 24 month duration, along with the permitting, and construction is in the 30-month range for the preferred alternative. So we can't talk about our rail infrastructure without talking about safety and the things that we're doing to support safety of the traveling public. For that, I'm going to ask Allie to come back up and review the actions that will be taken in that regard.
And then we'll be happy to answer questions. So again, as Scott said, safety is paramount to everything that we do. It is the company's top priority. And we look at it in three tiers from an engineering, enforcement, and education perspective. Engineering, I talked about upgrades to every single grade crossing to meet the highest safety standards. We applied with the Florida Department of Transportation for a RAISE grant. That is a federal program that would add an additional layer of safety enhancements along the corridor. This includes additional signage, fencing and landscaping. It includes delineators to prevent people who might be trying to turn left or right, that left or right turn might be the railroad, and that shouldn't be where they are going. So we are hopeful that grant application will be approved. Enforcement. We are already meeting and working with law enforcement in Martin County. About maybe a month and a half ago, we had a meeting with the enforcement areas, including the Coast Guard and missing the name, but we met and discussed the safety along the St. Lucie River waterway. We do have trainings with first responders. Martin County has been down to our system to see it and to understand it. And then we also work with local law enforcement agencies along the corridor. Broward County Sheriff's Office just recently on Friday concluded a 2-week safety stint where they went out and patrolled at the railroad crossings along the Brightline Florida East Coast Railway corridor. And in those 2 weeks, they issued 500 citations for people who were stopped on the tracks, going around the gates, people who were frankly doing things that are dangerous and illegal and have cost people their life. We also are very focused on education. We are already engaged with the Martin County School District, briefing their bus drivers, getting communication to parents, faculty, students, working through how that works. In South Florida, sadly, we've seen a number of trespasser incidents related to suicide. So we've been working with 211 of Palm Beaches and the Treasure Coast in Broward and in Martin County to find ways to get people access to the resources that exist and to make sure that they are aware of that information. That concludes our presentation. We are happy to answer any questions.
Great, Ally. Thank you very much. Commissioners, any questions? Commissioner Hurd.
Yes, thank you. So when will you make a determination about whether you're going to replace or rehabilitate the railroad bridge here?
So the bridge is definitely going to be rehabilitated. That is included in the environmental, 5-year environmental review process that was completed. So the rehab work is absolutely going to be occurring this year. The replacement of the bridge is obviously a longer project and one that we are actively pursuing. It is a major infrastructure investment that would require contributions from Brightline, the state, and the feds. And so we're actively engaged in that process to work to identify those funding buckets, if you will.
Okay, so going back to rehabilitation. So if it's just rehabilitated and there's never funding available for grants for replacement, then is the down position will not be raised?
That's correct.
So it will remain the same, 6 feet, 6 inches, and also 60 feet wide?
50 feet.
50 feet wide? And how many minutes per hour will the bridge be in the down position, including both Brightline and FEC cargo trains?
So we're working on our schedule when we launch, but our full schedule, as was included in the environmental document, is 32 daily trips. So 16 round trips, 32 daily trips. Florida East Coast Railway currently runs about 10 to 14 freight trains that, they could max up to 24. That is years away. But there is also a U.S. Coast Guard request for information for a potential rulemaking exercise. And so we are working with the Coast Guard and the industries in that process to determine, what does that minute structure look like? That means that the railroad can use it, roadway users are operating, and then the marine community can use it.
What does it look like right now? How many minutes per hour will the bridge be in the down position?
So again, we're still working on our full schedule.
Okay. Where is the bridge tender located?
It's actually not a tender, it's a monitor, and there'll be a new monitor house installed as part of the rehabilitation project. They'll be on the south side of the opening, the bascule span, and on the the east side of the bridge.
Is it manned?
Yeah, it will be.
In Martin County, on
Yes.
site?
Yeah.
Okay. So far, there have been 60 fatalities and many more injuries in South Florida. What's the top speed there, and what's the top speed going to be in Martin County?
So Commissioner, none of the incidents that have occurred to date have been the fault of Brightline or the infrastructure that exists at the crossings. Law enforcement has deemed that everything was working as it was supposed to, and the majority of those incidents were caused by people who were making deliberately dangerous and illegal decisions by circumventing the infrastructure that exists to keep them safe. Our top speeds in South Florida are 79 miles an hour. Through the Treasure Coast, in certain areas, we reach top speeds of 110. And then, we go 125 between Cocoa and Orlando, where there are no grade crossings. But again, we will be engaged in a very robust, we've already started a safety outreach and education campaign that, again, we look forward to working with Martin County to make sure we get those messages out.
Thank you. And also, how long do you expect the Monterey Road intersection improvements to take? Because I have to tell you, the improvements at Cove Road and at Indian Street, if you live in the central part of the county or the south part of the county, have been absolutely crippling.
Yeah, right now, the Monterey Road, as you can see, scheduled for July 12th through the 28th, so it looks like about 16 days.
And what was the Indian Street closing? What was the duration of that supposed to be?
I can't answer that, I don't know.
It was, okay. Thank you.
Commissioner Campy?
Thank you. If I remember correctly, the current closed clearance is 6 feet, 6 inches, and 22% of boat traffic can go underneath that while it's closed. I had heard a number that wasn't mentioned this morning that if and when you have the ability to go to 16 feet closed clearance, the percentage is tremendously increased. Can you give us an idea of what that number is for the folks
Yeah,
that live on the city side?
We reused some vessel study data that we collected in 2019 and applied it to this study. According to that study, which was in the fall of 2019, I think we collected vessel data over a couple of months. I think there were 1,300 or 1,400 vessels that were observed passing through the bridge. When compared to that data, we cross about 22% in the closed position now, and at 16 feet, we would have crossed about 92% of those vessels. So it's a rather significant improvement in the number of vessels that pass in the closed position.
I think that going from 22% to 92% will alleviate, obviously, for many, many people on the western side, on the Palm City side. I think that'll address a lot of issues for a lot of our constituents. Thank you.
Anybody else? Anything else? Thank you very much. I would keep doing my best to get as much of this information out because it's interesting what you hear in conversations around the community as to what is, what isn't. And I think it's incredibly helpful to have you all here sharing with us, at least from your perspective, what is. So thank you very, very much.
Thank you very much.
Stewart Station.
Thank you, Ally.
Okay. Again, everybody in the audience, just so you understand, the Discovery text amendment has been tabled into a time in the future. So if you don't want to hang around, we won't be having those public hearings. We will be opening them. We will open them, but there won't be any decisions made. There won't be any.
There'll be a motion to table it, and then the board will vote.
Yeah, and at this time, Commissioner, as you know, you don't have, until the applicant comes back with an application for us to discuss. Right now, we really don't have anything to discuss.
I understand. So we have a bunch of public that would like to speak. Some of you may be wanting to speak on that item. Others, it's just public. So trying to decide. Huh?
You got another proclamation.
I know. I was just trying to decide which path to go. We got a lot of people here for public. So we'll take up proclamation item number 2, which is a present proclamation to previously approved via the consent agenda. July is Parks and Recreation Month. Ms. Beaupre?
Good morning, Commissioners. Parks and recreation programs and facilities are an integral part of communities throughout the country. They positively affect our quality of life and promote health and wellness, improving the physical and mental well-being of the people who use them. During Parks and Recreation Month in July, residents are encouraged to take advantage of all the great amenities and programs offered throughout Martin County by our Parks and Recreation Department. And here to accept, we have Director Kevin Abate.
Morning.
Good morning, Kevin Abate, Parks and Recreation Director, and standing behind me is our new Deputy Director, Kevin Kerwin. When we're together, they call us K2, K squared. I'm K1, he's K2. So it will get hopefully not as confusing as we move along. I did want to thank you again for the proclamation and wanted to let the board know that we just received last week from the Commission for Accreditation of Parks and Recreation Agencies, which basically assures policymakers, department staff, and the general public that an accredited Parks and Recreation agency has the operational capacity to deliver programs and facilities and services at a high quality level. And we were first accredited in 2000, so 22 years ago. There are 192 accredited agencies of the 12,000 publicly funded agencies in the U.S., so we consider ourselves to be the elite amongst those that will take the challenge of trying to pass 154 standards. And over the last two accreditation periods, over the last 10 years, in my tenure here, we passed them with 100% compliance, and that is largely due to the amazing team that we had. And this past year, it was led by Nancy Johnson, our marketing manager, and Mark Lynch, our superintendent, and did an amazing job. So we did and there's Nancy. Come on over if you'd like. She's taking pictures today. I also wanted to just brag a little bit about some of the things we've done in the last year quickly. We did open the popular Seaside Cafe and Stewart Beach parking lot improvements. That cafe is doing quite well, approaching the $1.2 million mark. We opened the Fred Ayers Memorial Playground, a 5,000 square foot shaded playground system. The Jensen meets Morinfield. The new Top Tracer driving range at Sailfish Sands Golf Course, which is just did $185,000 in golf ball sales since we started in late October this year. And of course, we opened Florida's first and only reversible 9-hole golf course. We did maintenance improvements at Twin Rivers Park, Citrus Grove ballpark improvements, the William Doc Myers pickleball expansion, and the new skate ramp at Ryle Jensen Skate Park. And projects that are actively under construction. And over the next year, we have a lot going on that I'm very proud of with our team that we're doing. We'll be opening the new Phipps Park Campground, which will have 105 50-amp sites, getting us completely off septic with Wi-Fi and many other amenities. We have the improvements over at Lance Corporal Justin Wilson Park for the softball program, and a new restroom we'll be constructing. Our Charlie Layton Park restroom and community center improvements. Our Sandspit Park boat ramps, which is finally fully permitted, will go out to bid in July. And of course, the Sailfish Sands Golf Course clubhouse, restaurants, and 20 climate-controlled hitting bays, which is my biggest headache of the year, but it's going to be a great amenity for this community. Charlie Layton Park, community center, parking and open space improvements and community center. Costello Williams renovations will be underway soon. And of course, the expansion of the parking lot in Indian Riverside Park, Petway playground improvements, and the Log Cabin Senior Center improvements. And I wanted to end on this. I thought this was spectacular we are on the 10th year anniversary of Sailfish Splash Water Park. Our ribbon cutting was April 8th, and this is summer, so it's appropriate in 2012, about a year before I was hired. Since then, in our last 9 seasons, not including this year coming up, and we're doing spectacular, by the way, we've had over 700,000 visitors, attendance at the water park. Revenue in our 9 years of operating, over $12.6 million. We've hosted over 60 regional, state, and national sporting events that generated more than $20 million in direct impact to this county, to over 27,000 room nights, with a total economic impact of $34 million. We've hired 877 students and seasonal staff for their first-time jobs in the county since April 2012, and those employees have spent a whopping $4.25 million to this county. So I'm proud to, as your Parks Director for over the last 11 years, to be here, and I thank you again for your continued support. Thank you.
Awesome. Commissioners, any questions? You want to do pictures, Nancy?
Yeah, that's you.
Where do you want to do pictures? Up front here?
You're the boss.
Come on, let's go.
Whatever you want.
Let's go in here.
You want all the board members?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make it easier that way. Oh,
And Kevin, you mentioned the swim meet events. For individuals that have never participated or been over there when these young individuals are swimming, they're the most polite, most committed individuals to their sport. And you are welcome to go and observe because they're phenomenal. They come from all over the state, and they have individuals from all over the country. So it's phenomenal.
Awesome, thank you so much.
all right, and the third proclamation we have this morning is probably the most important of the day, of the week, of the year, of the last 30 years. Something like that. Give it 35 years. Who's counting? The minutes, probably, to. Proclamation item number 3 is to present a token of recognition and appreciation to Taryn Krista upon the occasion of her retirement from the services of Martin County Board of County Commissioners. Mr. Donaldson.
Yes, Don Donaldson, Deputy County Administrator for the record. It's a proud day for us to celebrate our great leader, Ms. Taryn Krista, who's retiring after 35 years of service. And, you know, Taryn has a way of describing what is appropriate and not. And so we don't have a large plaque celebrating the with other accoutrements that are typical of such an event, but we do have a box for her to keep some of her mementos. And it says, presented upon the occasion of your retirement, Taryn Krista, in grateful recognition of 35 years of dedicated public service to the citizens of Martin County, Florida. Martin County Board of County Commissioners presented this 21st day of June, 2022. So, you know, Taryn started over 35 years ago working started in engineering, also known as Public Works today. So she started in great beginnings.
Yes.
And, of course, over those times, she quickly became the Director of Administrative Services, served as an Assistant County Administrator, and, of course, since 2010, our County Administrator. She's the longest-serving County Administrator we've had in the history of Martin County, and the only one to retire in office as County
On my own
Administrator.
terms.
By choice.
On her own terms, exactly, yes. Yes, and that is important. It certainly adds to her legacy as bringing stability to both the organization and to the county, and recognition of so much that she's done. Over those years, she's helped us through a lot of significant commission and community strategic plans and objectives. Some of the more noteworthy ones is figuring out how we would get the Western Corridor funded and financed, the Green River Parkway, initial widening of Indian Street, and of course, what is now known as Veterans Memorial Bridge. That was a collaboration with DOT, but we had to step up right away to make that happen, and it wasn't for her creativity. We would not have had that project ready to go at the time the federal funds come. And of course, most recently, all of the fire station projects, fire rescue training facility, and of course, one of the items on today, the Public Works facility that we're hopeful to go to the next level, again, was all through the steady hand of Ms. Krista working with us to secure funding. And I think more importantly is over the years, as we've appropriated these large sums of funds. She's also worked with her staff behind the scenes, often refinancing those, saving money, and ending those terms early so that we could reinvest those dollars into the future. And so there's a significant legacy, I think, in our and the financial stability of Martin County that dates well back before she was even county administrator, and really allowing this county, this fiscally conservative county who likes to pay as you go, when we do borrow, we do it carefully, and we repay those always early, and I'm able to reinvest those funds again in other projects. So in her certainly passionate, she's steadfast, dedicated, determined.
Pain in the rear end.
I won't say that, but I may be thinking that, but no. You know, there are some times you work with Taryn and you'll explain it to her and she gives you a nod. I hear what you're saying, but we're not doing that. And certainly, you know, in the audience, you could see a lot of all the staff that she's mentored and hired and promoted along the way. We've certainly greatly benefited from her wisdom and leadership. The county has benefited it, and I think many in the audience may not know how much Taryn also devotes in volunteer work, and nothing more significant, I think, than her continued commitment to the United Way of Martin County and all the agencies they serve. She's served on numerous boards, and I know will continue to do so. So I know with in support, your staff, you know, we do greatly appreciate all the work you've done, and you're near and dear to our hearts, and we know we're lucky to have you still in our community to contribute to make Martin County a better place.
Thank you, Don. Thank you. You have a lot to do.
We didn't say that you got to say it.
Well, I'm going to say something anyway, so. No, really, thank you to the board. Thank you to my amazing staff. I wouldn't be able to be here and in this position without your support, particularly the board. I've been very, very fortunate from that perspective. Having attended every meeting for the past 13 years, and those years that we were doing meetings almost every week. But it's been great. And I also want to thank my husband and my family for the times that I've had to miss events for my children. But it was worth it. And even vacations I had to miss. So there are times when you just have to make those choices, but it's been a great, great ride here at Martin County. The staff, again, is amazing and awesome. I couldn't be more proud. I was given the opportunities that I've been given, and I hope that they, too, will take advantage of those opportunities that they're given. Mr. Donaldson stepping in, I can feel confident that I can walk out of here next Thursday and this place will continue to thrive. So I also want to thank those that have been a mentor for me. There's numerous individuals I could mention. Mr. Peter Cheney was unbelievable. Dan Hudson helped me. Russ helped me. So all those that believed in me and believed in what I could do and encouraged me to do better and to take that next step. So I appreciate those. And I also want to appreciate those partners that we've had in the community. As Don said, I've been able to sit on numerous boards and committees, but I see a few of them here in the audience, and I appreciate it. They've been phenomenal, and it's helped make Martin County who we are. And then also the residents that have supported me over the years. It's been great. We're able to sit down, have civil conversations, and we may not agree at the end of that debate, but at the end they've been polite and respectful, and I appreciate that. And then also, I just want to wish everyone the best. I have a little saying above my door, it is what it is. I'm going to leave that there for you. You can do with it what you want. But No, it's been great, and I haven't done this by myself. I couldn't do any of the things that we've done. I know Kevin Abate was going through the list of achievements that he's had for the past 10 years. We couldn't do that without the amazing staff. So we have a great team, and I will continue to watch from the sidelines and be a cheerleader for everyone as they move forward. And I just want to again thank you for everything. It's been great. So with that.
Awesome.
Commissioners, a picture?
Yeah, well, before we do that, we did have one speaker that wanted to speak to this. If anybody else wanted to come up and say anything, Missy, you have your form in? That's one smart Chamber of Commerce director to bring flowers.
I asked for something small.
I appreciate it.
Great.
Hello, I'm Missy Campbell with the Palm City Chamber of Commerce, and on behalf of Palm City, we thank you for everything you've done for Martin County. On a personal note, I know you do. On a personal note, I would like to get your class and your grace instilled in me because you handle everything so beautifully, even when you're saying, sir, your 3 minutes are up. Ma'am, your 3 minutes are up. And you always handled everything without being rattled. And I have a great deal of respect for you. So thank you for that.
That's raising 4 kids.
Oh.
Y'all want to do a picture? Oh. Go in front, Laura? Laura?
Yes.
What? Hey,
Come on in.
what about all the so,
Sure.
Is that going to be high enough with her in the way?
I probably put it over to the side,
That's
I
not
think.
balanced.
This is the way it needs to be balanced. Don't argue with me. Otherwise, it'll block Taryn. It's big. All right. This is not my camera. All right, let's do a couple. 1, 2, 3. Keep smiling. 1, 2, 3. A couple more. 1, 2, 3. I got it.
Thank you. So I've got a few department directors here and some other staff. I think it's too many probably for us to do a group shot, or what do you think, Laura?
It's a lot of people.
They're all dressed up.
I know, but it's a lot of people.
Not everybody wore Class A, but you know, give it a try. Come on,
It's gonna be a
kids.
lot of people.
Come on, Chief, bring them on. Everybody, Jennifer, Matt, all y'all, come on. Carolyn, you've been in the office. Let's go. Come on. Yeah, you. Hurry up.
And we can have the commissioners stand in.
Sally, come on. Sarah,
Mr. Story, let's go.
Dawn. Come on. Heather. Let's go. Hurry up. This is my last chance to boss everybody around.
Not gonna work.
Let's go, everybody. Short people in front, commissioners will be in back. Come on.
She's ordering everybody around.
Wow. Come on. Back up. Back up. Come on, James, get in there. Everybody get in.
Yeah.
I gotta go in front, I'm sure. Yeah, me too.
Just heard that freaking yesterday. Not from him. Pecking us away one by one.
Guys are getting it.
Right head. Chad's head. You're out. Hi, Laura. Just look this way. Trying to see if you can see me. Trying to see if you can see me. Just gonna take lunch. Just keep smiling. Keep smiling. Wow, that's a nice group. Keep smiling. All right, I've kind of gotten one.
Okay, thank you, guys.
All right.
Hi, Maddie.
Aye.
Hello?
Chairman. Everybody's in black.
Young lady, I haven't been here that long. I appreciate all you do.
Huh? Day morning, yeah, right?
I brought it in today. Thank you. I got your. Thank you.
I was just saying, you're kissing too many men, I'm gonna tell you husband. What's all these young guys?
I get to see you all. Thanks, Karen. Oh, I remember you in the office. Thank you so much. Good luck.
Like a wedding.
Yeah, right?
Got big plans for you.
Okay. Guess we need to go to public. It's good to be last. It's memorable to be last. The last one is always memorable.
I'll see you Friday. See you Friday. Yay! See you Friday.
I don't know.
Thank you for that.
I told her it should be a little small, tight square or a little thing that was this big.
For what?
Are those?
Oh.
And then she's.
Saw the door open up.
They get to be hard to transport when they're that big.
Okay, everybody. Thank you for your indulgence this morning. For letting us do all of that first. We'll go to public next. Again, just so you all know, the public hearing for the Discovery PUD text amendment is being tabled. And with that, we will take up Ms. Marcia Powers first. And following Ms. Powers will be Mr. Pat Arena. Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. Good morning. Taryn, thank you for your 35 years of service. Amazing. All the people behind me are so thankful. I know you get all the accolades from your commissioners, but all of us really appreciate your service too.
Thank you.
Again, I'm Marcia Powers. I'm with the Martin County School Board. I'm here both in my role as a school board member, but also personally to say thank you. Last week, we broke ground on Indiantown High School. I know that Commissioner Campy and Ms. Christo were able to attend, and I know you all were there in spirit. And what a day, not only for Indiantown, but for all of Martin County. I get really emotional about this because it's something that I've been working on since I became a school board member. And it's going to be a really great opportunity. And this would not have happened without the county. Your leadership, Ms. Christa, I mean, your unanimous support donating the property, it really, truly would not have happened without you. So I thank you, thank you, thank you. It was a great day. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations, Marcia. Fantastic stuff. Mr. Arena, good morning. Following Mr. Arena is Carol Fitzpatrick. Good morning.
Morning, Pat Arena, Jensen Beach. It's only by the grace of God and His strength that I'm even up here today. Yesterday, my 2-year-old German Shepherd fell down a flight of stairs, shattered her bones, and we had to put her down. You could say that I'm heartless being up here so soon, but you can also say that what I have to say is so important. As you know, 37 years ago, my brother-in-law bought a piece of property. Actually, it was the last piece of property in the southeast section of Sugar Hill, a well-developed neighborhood, a house on either side of his property. He spent tens of thousands of dollars to go to a builder and try to get building permits and all, and the last minute they said, this is wetlands, you can't build here. This is absolutely absurd. The way it should be is when a developer wants to develop a PUD, that's the time that the environmentalists go in there to determine whether it is wetlands or not. And especially when the land is divided into lots, that's when the environmentalists should have the only opportunity to go in there to say which, if any, lots are subject to wetlands. So the person that buys that piece of property knows right off the start that there's going to be restrictions on that property. What this comprehensive plan does is wrong. If I sold a piece of property under your rules, I would say I scam people out of that property. It needs to be fixed. I expect it to be fixed. I demand it to be fixed. And meanwhile, the hypocrisy of what's going on with, oh, that's Stewart land there. There's a section of property in between Baker Road and Savannah Road that's underwater, and it has a permit sign. You would need a boat to go out there to inspect the permit sign. Stewart is going to bury that like they've buried all the other wetlands in Martin County. Now, under your own definition, Stewart is destroying Martin County. And if you don't have a map of Martin County, you will see that the city of Stewart is in Martin County. How can you allow this? How can you allow this to continue? Is it a mistake when you did the comprehensive plan? If so, fix it. It needs to be fixed now. My brother-in-law needs to be grandfathered in. This is absolutely absurd what's going on in Martin County. Burying wetlands that Osprey Preserve, there's 8 feet of fill over wetlands. They're just building. Maybe they're too liberal,
Sir, your
but maybe
time's up.
you're too conservative.
Thank you. Thank you.
Ms. Fitzpatrick, please. Carol Fitzpatrick, followed by Barry Rhodes. Good morning.
Good morning. Commissioners, another meeting, I reiterate again, with no workshops that were promised to residents in January. I have emailed you, Commissioners, and Mr. Doolin this month. I can't get an answer. Tell me, who do you represent? Atlantic Fields, where will water and sewer come from? How will it be connected? Will it impact Atlantic Ridge Preserve State Park? When was county study done to determine the bridge road that did not need to be widened? It must have been the summer to come to that conclusion. Bridge Road in season has traffic backed up. I have been in it. With all added traffic, it would be wise to have infrastructure in place before developments are approved. Tell me, are taxpayers paying for widening the roads? With this amendment, there needs to be a limit. How large would the chain of touching lands become? Could Atlantic Fields project pass without changing the comp plan? Your constituents need answers. Martin County is the envy of all of South Florida. Why do you think South residents are relocating here? Your actions today will be remembered come Election Day. Seeing that we have Brightline in change.
Following Mr. Rhodes is Barry Serber.
How y'all doing today?
I'm sorry? You're going to hold it? You don't want to speak today? Thank you, sir. Mr. Rhodes?
Good afternoon. My name is Barry Rhodes. I born and raised in Melbourne, came to Stewart in 1976 and bought a new car from Mr. Redditt. So I know the area a little bit. Lived in Okeechobee for years, and I'm back over here about the last 3 years. I was invited over here from a real estate deal. It had a lot of drug issues and criminal activity off Salerno Road. I came here and got it straightened out. Police calls have gone down immensely, almost to zero. The police force in this town is excellent. I've met hundreds of policemen. I've never had one crossword with any of them. They're all great. And the reason I'm here today is a friend of mine has some condo here in Martin County. There's something going on that's bad. The condo board is using the building department to scam the people out of their money. What they're doing is they're saying they're getting stuff inspected by the county. They might be. That's not the issue I'm getting to. But they're using that as leverage, forcing the people that live there to use a certain contractor, stating they have a rapport with the county, and so all will be well, use this particular contractor. I do quite a bit of investigating myself. I've got it to the point now where the management of the condo units went to the other contractors, local contractors, and was trying to get them not to do the work. We don't want you doing the work. You're not to be on our property, and just gave them a hard time. They're taking senior citizens' money. And I need to speak with someone, either in a building department, legal department, something to help me get enough information that I can go to the sheriff's department. I'm a little premature going to the sheriff's department now because I need to sit down with the building department. We've got issues with ground covering, roofing material, things like that. So who can I get with on what you're leaving? What I do is the last 20 years of my life, I took care of 25 years, took care of my elderly mother. She's been going about 13 years. In conversation, I meet people that are elderly, and I hear about these scams, or I get directly involved in them, and I put a lot of time into it. So when I reach out for help, I've already done a lot of work on it. I'm not bringing something frivolous. Like I said, I've done it for over a year now. And
Mr. Donaldson, I think, is looking to get your information.
There is,
Good deal.
there are staff taking copious notes, so.
I appreciate that.
We'll reach out to you and we'll get your phone number and.
I'd like to say I enjoy Martin County. Everything about it, I'm not a stranger to it, but since I've lived here, I've really enjoyed the community itself.
Thank you.
Mr. Rhodes?
Being from Okeechobee.
You're fine.
One more thing. I said I hate to admit it, but I am buddies with Mr. Hairdryer over in Okeechobee.
Oh.
The guy with the COVID.
Yeah. Ms. Serber, did you want to speak this morning?
Right here?
Yes, did you want to
No,
speak?
you have to come to the mic.
You have to come to the mic, ma'am.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning to you all. My name is Carol Serber. I live in Rocky Point in Stewart. And it's a really simple message. Listen to your constituents, listen to the people. They don't want this comp plan. I don't want this comp plan. And really, you don't either. So that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Annie Potts.
Thoughts?
Following Annie is Mary Starzinski. Sorry.
First of all,
Annie, good morning.
I don't think I have enough of them, but I brought you presents from the NAACP, which reiterates the point that we are all in community together, all of us. And they're little magnets you can put on either your car or your refrigerator. I didn't think I'd be getting up here with having seen what I saw on the door. Actually, none of us knew none of the people I knew that this was going to be tabled. But I still think it's important to sit here and for everybody to step up and say what points we have that you all need to hear because you represent all of us voters and current residents of the community. Number one, the current amendments included none of the suggestions from Guardians of Martin County's position report, which proposed adjustment to water quality monitoring, monies of conservation land, and studies of western lands. Number two, searching for the attachment even of the Guardian's position paper, which was in the 483 pages of public comments. The attachment was omitted, and I looked all over, could not find that. I thought that was a little unusual. Number three, this amendment applies to all the agricultural land. All of it? It just doesn't seem right. If the amendments are passed as worded and not reworded as discoveries say they're going to be, all the lands will be outside the urban service boundary, will be able to hook into public utilities. This is the definition of sprawl. But my biggest point, I would say, is that resort residential communities are not neighborhoods. They are modeled primarily as investment vehicles. They're something different than what I thought of as even developments. I grew up in a 1920 development in Long Island. Still, if this amendment is passed as worded, all the agricultural land will be open to much more intense high-end development. First-hand experience at similar developments doesn't support the assertion that their members or owners will become integral parts of our Martin County community. Please collaborate again with landowners, conservation groups, and residents who are familiar with the agricultural land, the fragile wetlands and rivers, as well as those who have seen before and after effects of resort residential developments on existing communities. Please work together with all of us. Have workshops, have meaningful long-range plan, which does in fact protect our county's future. Once you've done this, a future yes vote may in fact be appropriate. You know, but please do your homework. Do your homework for all of us, because the decisions you make today will steer the county's course long into the future. What we have right now is a force of loosely worded land use definitions and those of out-of-state developers' pressures converging. Please do your homework on this issue. Please, you represent all of us. Thank you.
Mary Straczynski,
Morning.
followed by Doug Farley.
Morning, Mr. Chairman.
Morning.
Commissioners, staff. Okay, I have to stay with what I have, so. Okay, my name is Mary Straczynski. I'm speaking today to implore you to vote no on your upcoming votes on CPA 21-08, CPA 21-09, and the requested PUD rezoning approval for the Discovery Project. I am in agreement with the Thousand Friends of Florida's letter to you dated June 15, 2022, which states, quote, "We have noted that staff have proposed a less sweeping amendment than that which was transmitted to the Florida Department of Health, Department of Opportunity in February," end quote. Our main concerns are these. First, this is the most aggressive change to the Martin County Comprehensive Plan since 1982. Please respect its founders and your constituents by engaging in open hearings on this issue. This means a no vote at this time. These hearings would include, but would not be limited to, evaluation and appraisal report process recommended by 1,000 Friends and both the Comprehensive Plan Task Force and Martin County Environmental Initiative, both recommended by the Guardians of Martin County. Maybe we're getting there. You know? Per the 1,000 Friends letter, quote, "We remain concerned about the uncertain geographical extent of the text amendment," end quote. This is a deeply disturbing issue and must be adequately resolved before another vote is taken. 3, we also agree with 1,000 Friends in that this low-density, automobile-dependent community outside the county's urban service core meets the classic definition of sprawl. 4, one specific medically related concern. Page 7 of 11 of the May 3rd, 2022 updated CPA-08 Becker B14 text states, quote, under G, provide for self-supporting project elements such as first aid, private security, et cetera, end quote. I can assure you, from years of empirical experience as a physician that has treated a few very famous people, that folks like Tom Brady, who relies on an extraordinary level of physical ability, is going to expect rapid EMS service when he dials 911, even if he lives outside the urban service district. A Band-Aid is not going to cut it in this population. The time difference between advanced life support response both in and out of the urban core is 12 minutes, which often is the difference between life and death when you drop dead. And that AED is only going to defib you once. You need EMS advanced right there, right away, or you're going to die. Brady has written to the commission in support of this project. All, quote, levels of service must undergo an impact analysis before any projects of this type are approved. Speaking of service, we are all very grateful for yours. Please heed the wish of the majority constituents and say, no, yes, whatever comes up, do the right thing. Thank you.
Doug Farley, please. Following Mr. Farley, Tom Pine.
Good morning.
Morning.
I'm Doug Farley. I live in Jensen Beach, Florida. I'm here today because the Brightline folks gave a presentation and thought it was great. Thank you. We've learned that part of their process is to upgrade all the intersections with advanced safety, double gates, curbs. This is a much safer process than just blowing a horn through the intersection. With these safety upgrades, the Federal Rail Administration will allow this county to silence the train horns going through our neighborhoods. I think that is it's a great opportunity for this commission to improve the quality of life of Martin County citizens. It might increase property value. Currently, the horn is just a noise-polluting nuisance, and it's ineffective. The safety upgrades are more effective, and more importantly, you can legally petition the rail companies to silence their horns. You get the blessings of the Federal Rail Administration and the Florida Department of Transportation. One of the beauties of this is there's no cost to the taxpayer. You need to write a letter. So I could talk for hours about this, but basically I just urge this commission to pursue this, because I don't think the rail companies arbitrarily turn off their horns with these safety upgrades. They have to be told to. And when you do that, everybody wins. It's safer, it's quiet. So please consider that. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Pine, following Mr. Pine, Dottie Lancey.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Tom Pine. At the last County Commission meeting, I spoke about the illegal expansion of Illinois 1230. My neighborhood was forced to live in for over 8 years, breathing massive amounts of jet fuel pollution before our county government finally did the right thing. While it was a county commissioner and senior staff that came up with the scheme, why did it happen in the first place? Because the business community, the Martin Chamber of Commerce, wanted it. Now the majority of Martin commissioners, with the help of some of the same senior staff that worked on the airport debacle, have come up with another scheme. This time it will destroy the Martin County difference. Why? Because the business community, the Martin County Chamber of Commerce, wants it, even though the majority of Martin County taxpayers strongly oppose it. At the April County Commission meeting, when this scheme was first discussed, the overwhelming majority of Martin County's taxpayers spoke in opposition to it. Those that spoke in favor were mainly the business owners that belong to the Martin County Chamber of Commerce. Special interests play an oversized role in electing our county commissioners in August primary. Hence, that's who our elected officials work for, not the taxpayers of Martin County. We're just the suckers helping to pay the bills. The two big spenders on this commission are pushing another scheme within the scheme, that this project will pay for itself with millions and millions of dollars left to spend on their dreams and wishes projects. If that happens, it would be the first project built in the entire state of Florida that didn't cost existing taxpayers anything. No one has addressed any of the questions regarding the number of new police officers, fire rescue station, water sewer hookups, and road improvements outside the new development, just to name the obvious ones. Once again shows loud and clear in Martin County, it's always about the money. One thing other I noticed, that there's no one here from the Chamber of Commerce today to speak for this project. It seems the Chamber of Commerce is well informed what our government is doing. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Dottie Lancey. Following Ms. Lancey is Robin Cartwright.
Morning, Commissioners. Dottie Lancey. I'm an 18-year resident of Hutchinson Island, and I came here today expecting to speak on the Rural Lifestyle Amendment and also the Discovery Project and my opposition to it. I've spoken on this issue before, and I don't appreciate the Commission's decision to table it again at the very last moment. Neither do all the other people who came taking off a day from work, changing their schedules, expecting to express their opinion here, and we were disappointed once again. We don't like being gamed. Voters know what you are doing, and we will be back. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Robin Cartwright. Followed by Linda K. Richards.
Good morning, Commissioners. I'm glad to see the agenda items were pulled. I won't remind you of all of the reasons why your vote, whenever that happens, to approve the Rural Lifestyle Amendment and most land use changes and the associated PUDs is wrong. I won't remind you that you work for constituents and not corporations. I won't remind you that Lucido shouldn't be determining the text that's being submitted as part of the amendment change, as their letter states that they are doing. I won't remind you of the promises that you made while you were running for office. I won't remind you that your duty is to support those who live here, not those who might. I won't remind you that you never held any public workshops. I won't even remind you that buying land is speculative and there's no guarantee it can be developed, much less in excess of what a comprehensive plan allows for. I won't remind you that your job is not to generate a profit for an applicant. I won't remind you that environmental consultants are paid for by developers to say that land has no ecological value so it can be developed. The black bear in Palm Beach County that was killed yesterday, the black bear that was found in Martin County yesterday, and the 7 or 8 wood storks who now visit Lake Charlotte regularly off of Palm Beach Road would beg to differ. I won't remind you that the Martin County difference will be meaningless as we become the same as everywhere else. I won't remind you that this will be a slippery slope of this approval will make us just like every other town on the east coast of Florida, and soon we won't even be recognizable. So let me remind you of this. Every developer, without exception, who comes before you says, I moved here or I visited this town and I want to make Martin County just like this place I visited or just like this place I came from. And they mention how beautiful it is here. They say they want to preserve or enhance it. And then they submit a request to change it. Tearing down trees to replant them elsewhere is not preservation, it's a manipulative compromise. And these land use changes and associated developments don't make us exceptional, it makes us exclusionary and not in a positive way. Developers, for the most part, are like locusts. They find undeveloped tracts of land and consume it until it is no longer, removing the natural beauty and manipulating and codes and landscapes to suit their aesthetic and their bottom line. And if and when you approve it, what are we left with? We are left with a development that only a select few will be able to afford, and the Martin County difference will be no longer. People want to come here because we are different. Protect that. Destroying it makes us no different than anywhere else, and then we have nothing to offer. Don't make the rural lifestyle legacy your legacy.
Linda K. Richards, followed by Donna Melzer.
Good morning.
Good morning.
First of all, I do want to say thank you for serving our community. I've looked into what it is to be a county commissioner, and it is a lot. I just have a couple things I want to say. I want to remind you, like Robin, in 1972, I-95 was supposed to be completed down to Miami. It was Martin County to stop that. They didn't want 95 coming through our city, our county, and they stopped it and made it better by pushing it out a ways. And I grew up, as I was born here in the 70s, watching Fort Pierce develop into what it was because 95 went through it. And here we are in Martin County, and thankful to those low-growth commissioners that protected the Martin County difference. It's a shame when I drive up from Fort Lauderdale. I dropped my kids off at the airport yesterday, and I see the development along 95 down there. And then I come into Martin County, and I still fully appreciate the fact that we have so much green space. I'm in the nursery business, and I hear about production problems because of all of the agricultural land that has been sold down south. I have clients that come in, and they cannot get their products because they're just not being produced anymore. These are the things that are going to happen if we change our comprehensive plan and we allow development like that. We need to protect what is Martin County. And finally, I got to see the Brightline presentation, which I'm very, very glad I did because I live on the west side of the bridge. My boat, if I put my bimini top down and we all come down, slides right underneath the Roselle Bridge, the train bridge when it's down. I've seen what it looks like when that bridge is down, and we've got boats on both ends. We're going to put, City of Stewart's putting a nice big massive marina in right there. Our boat trouble is going to be a problem. They are refurbishing the bridge. If they spend the money to refurbish the bridge, you guys are all dreaming if you think that they're going to come in and replace that bridge anytime soon. And you're going to see what happens. On Sunday, the train bridge was down. I don't know when it went down, but my friends got stuck there at 3, and they didn't get out underneath going west until 6 o'clock on Father's Day. There were workers there. I don't know why the bridge was down. I don't know if it was because of the freight trains. I don't know. But there were so many boats that had to pass underneath that bridge that my friends were calling me, asking me if I was able to go and get video coverage of what it looks like, because the safety of our boaters, of our children who boat, is at risk. Remember, if they refurbish it, they are not going to replace it. Thank you.
Thank you. Donna Melzer, followed by Drew Martin.
Good morning, Commissioners. My speech for today is out in my car. We did not hear about the tabling until late. We find that very insulting. I looked on the county website this morning. It's not posted. Lots of residents care, and Blake Fontenay of the Stewart News warned us that there will be strategic delays of the hearings. We don't appreciate it. Lots of residents care about the comp plan and about the zoning. And we hear that there are at least 2 of you that are listening to residents. We would like it to be 3. So we're asking you to take this opportunity today to set 2 or 3 televised workshops where this language that people are worried about, that destroys our comp plan, that takes out our zoning, is discussed, that we look for better language, that we try to find better things if this is the direction that you're determined to go. We'd like it not to be the direction that is gone at all, because we do have Newfield already out there waiting for development, and other projects that have been approved and not built. So today, we believe that with 2/3 of the county at stake, it is not a time to weaken the comp plan. It is not a time to weaken the zoning. But if you're going to do it, we would like a boundary, a very distinct boundary of a small area where you test the rural lifestyle and see if it benefits or if it hurts the county. During that time you want to start planning for the roads, the Cove Road is $20 million for an acre of 2-lane road. That's a lot of money for a western network. We hope that you start planning and stop okaying development that is not good for our county, not good for our comp plan, not good for our zoning. And we hope that you will listen to the residents and not just the developers who are looking for a higher profit. There's a clear direction that can be followed, and you've been working with people that have given you suggested language, and it doesn't appear to me that much of it has been listened to. I hope you will listen and do the right thing. Thank you very much.
Drew Martin, and following Mr. Martin will be Carol Hall Yost Rudge.
Drew Martin. I'm here on behalf of the Lock Central Group of the Sierra Club. I came up from Palm Beach County. Fortunately, my wife had jury duty this morning, and I had to drop her off 8 o'clock, so I was getting up early anyway and driving this direction, so I wasn't as disappointed as a lot of people were when I got here and found out you had tabled the item, although I'd rather see you table than approve it. The Sierra Club agrees with the letter from Thousand Friends of Florida. I wanted to mention 2 other items. The Sierra Club was contacted about the removal of the gopher tortoises at the airport. Commissioner Hurd has followed up on it. We appreciate that. I was disappointed to hear that the gopher tortoises were actually moved. And even though it turned out that they could have been left there. I mean, one of the unfortunate things with gopher tortoises is they're very harmless animals and they're underground. So I'm not quite sure why you couldn't have had some fire training there and still maintain the existing gopher tortoises. There really isn't any place for them to go, and that's one of the problems right now. The gopher tortoises don't have alternative locations. They don't do well when they're moved, and I'm very disappointed because we see this movement of gopher tortoises all the time, and it's very hard on the species. And gopher tortoises are a keystone species. They benefit many other species with their underground dens. So we really hope that in the future you'll be more careful and try to accommodate them rather than moving them. The other thing I want to mention real quickly is there's a Development River Watch where they're trying to remove a lot of mangroves, and this is very close to the Martin County line. It's in St. Lucie County. I've been in contact with the St. Lucie Conservation Alliance, and there's a lot of concern about this. Nobody should be removing mangroves, acres of mangroves, so they can dredge to get boats into a development. I mean, that is absolutely ridiculous. And, you know, we should be preserving all our wetlands. This is an area where manatees are birthing. And even though it's outside of Martin County, I hope that Martin County will register its concern about the removal of mangroves in the River Lagoon. Why is that? Because your water quality is just as affected by the removal of these mangroves in the Indian River Lagoon as theirs. The other thing I want to mention is on the wetlands issue, and the gentleman brought that up. I hope you will be protecting all your wetlands, including in the city of Stuart. Thank you.
Ms. Rudge? Good morning.
Good morning. Karen Hall, Yost Rudge, 1701 Southwest Palm City Road. Thank you for your service. Congratulations on your retirement. I will back my fellow residents on the no and the workshops and the education. That's what'll keep us peaceful. Where we feel like we're being heard, you're listening, we're talking, and we just don't do things quickly. But I also want to talk about, and I'm sorry Sarah's not here, but I think like other residents, I write you, you ignore me, that's okay. We love you. We vote for you. We pray for you. Sometimes we get mad, but we always love you and appreciate what you do. So listen to us. Right now, I think you're aware that I need a hearing, that your attorney is ignoring me, and that's not the way it works. We just had a federal judge, Kevin Michael Moore, and this month just came out with an order that the proper forum is in the state court, which would be the 19th, that the proceedings are going, that there needs to be a final judgment. Well, when your attorney doesn't show up or refuses to talk to me or set a hearing, then it's very hard to get the due process that was purchased for me by blood of veterans. So I continue to ask you to do the right thing, get your attorney to respond to me, and so that we can finish this litigation in a fair, just, and right way. Okay? So thank you. And like I said, we love you, we pray for you, and we're trusting you to use wisdom. All right. Love you.
Thank you, Ms. Rudge. Joan Goodrich is the last public speaker form I have. If anybody else would like to speak to us this morning, please get the bailiff a form. If not, Ms. Goodrich, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Chair, Commissioners, Administrators. I'm Joan Goodrich, Executive Director of the Business Development Board, Martin County's Public-Private Partnership for Economic Development, working with job creators to start, grow, stay, and come to Martin County. I'm here today to request your support on two items. The first item is consent item number 13. It's the lease renewal for BD Liberator at Witham Field. The BDB has been assisting BD Liberator through the process, and we thank your staff, including Sam Carver, for the recommendation to renew this lease with BD Liberator, who's been in Martin County since 2000 and at the airport since 2009. BD Liberator is a national provider of medical products and employs nearly 260 people. And when Liberator Medical became a part of Becton Dickinson, BD, Martin County gained the presence of an American multinational medical technology company in our community, which certainly helps to advance our hubs of excellence in healthcare medical. Therefore, please support staff's recommendation and approve this item. The second item that I'm asking for your support on relates to public hearing number 4, the Comprehensive Plan Amendment 22-01 for Willis Custom Yachts, and its corresponding quasi-judicial public hearing to assign the correct zoning district classification relating to Willis's comprehensive plan amendment. By approving these items, the 62.2 acre parcels that they own can be fully activated as a major job creator and non-residential tax generator through the direct business capital investment that they're proposing to make here in Martin County. When you consider Mark Willis's inspiring vision to re-energize Martin County's legacy for custom boat building, this extraordinary proposed project will benefit our community for many years with more good jobs, diversifying our economic base, and of course, strengthening our reputation as a distinct marine hub of excellence. And lastly, to join the choir of voices with the community, on behalf of the Business Development Board, the Board of Directors, Taryn, we thank you for your steadfast service to our community, the advice and counsel that you've given our organization over the years as we've collaborated together. And because of all of that, you should also be very proud of the stronger, more resilient economy that you're leaving behind. And we wish you best wishes in your next chapter.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks very much. Mr. Moyer, did you want to speak now? Yes. Jim, come on up. Mr. Dial? You wish to speak now versus, well, you can speak at the hearing or speak when we open it, and then we'll end up closing it. But Mr. Moyer, good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. Good morning, Ms. Krista. Thank you very much. Thank you. My name's Jim Moyer. I've been a resident of Rocky Point for 30 years, and I'm now your Indian River keeper. I agree that the issue of fallow citrus groves deserves some attention and some workshopping. It's a conundrum worthy of dialogue and consideration. How land use policy, urban development, and agriculture affects the Indian River Lagoon ecosystem is fundamentally my concern. The beloved citrus industry has perhaps altered the landscape of Florida more than any other. I reject the notion that we should guarantee the industry's future profitability, bail them out, or exonerate the industry from any accountability or the moral imperative to do ecological restoration, or to expedite their transition to the terminal crop of residential units. Promoting ultra-exclusive residential developments with heavily landscaped amenities outside the urban service boundary will explode the cost of land for protection and restoration. This proposal is not supported by any comp plan criteria that must be met before staff can recommend approval of a comp plan amendment. Residential capacity analysis does not support this proposed amendment. It takes even a more tortured form of logic to sort of rationalize this as an affordable housing option, or that it won't place burdens on public services. Much has been made of the foresightful pillars of Martin County's comp plan: a 4-story limit, investment in open space, concern for stormwater management, and 1 unit in 20 acres in the agricultural district. Everyone else is 1 in 5. These are the reasons people love to live here. It's not to create a retreat for the ultra-exclusive enclaves for people to hide out in. Please embrace what makes Martin County exceptional. Don't relegate it to mediocrity. Don't break your covenant with the constituents. Please take the time to workshop this. Please take the time to investigate with your citizenry what can be done about the massive amounts of agricultural area that are going to go fallow and will eventually grow houses if they don't have some other land use that is responsible to the ecology of the state of Florida. We need this to be done properly, not in a rough, slipshod way. Thank you very much for your time and consideration.
Moore, thank you. Dial? And again, that's the last public speaker forum I have. If anybody else would like to address us at this time, please get us the form in. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you, Commission. And I'd like to put a personal thank you to the county and the Parks Commission and my commissioner for restoring the property on the north side of Maggie's Hammock. They cleared out all the invasives, and I walked through there the other day, and all of a sudden there was wading birds all in there. And I apologize for being absent in your last meetings, but I've been traveling in Holland and Sweden and the Ozarks, which Bentonville, which was surprisingly like Napa Valley of the Ozarks, simply because of all of the money that had been put in there in restoration and development on a smart scale by the Waltons, the J.B. Hunt, and the Tyson Food, which I had no idea about any of that, but it opened my eyes a little bit. And I'm glad that I came to this meeting, even though you tabled the Atlantic Fields. I think it is time for us to kind of really think about where we're going in the future with our development, smart development, right? And tabling it might be the right thing for right now, so everybody can take a good look and dig into it, right? And I was against it in the beginning, but I'm still open-minded with it, and I hope you will be too, because there can be good development, can be bad development. And changing the comp plan, I'm not educated, but I'm getting educated by everybody here and you guys. But thank you again for what you've done, all of you, especially my commissioner from my district on restoring, habitat. And when you do development, I think you can restore habitat and do development in a smart way. So let's keep an open mind. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okay, we are going to take our break for closed.
Commissioner, if we can take public hearing number 1 prior to the break, because we have to sign during the break.
I understand all that.
Okay.
So my plan was we take our break, we'll come back, we'll have that public hearing, and then we'll break for another 30, 40 minutes to,
So 2 breaks? 2,
well, closed captioning usually is at 10:30, and they've been going now for an hour and plus, an hour and a half plus. It's up to you all.
What's up to you? I don't know that the,
I'm sorry, did you want to speak at public? Okay.
that, if the board wants to do that, that's fine, as long as we take a break after so we can sign.
Anybody else from the public? Because we were asked a couple times, and we need to, ma'am,
Saw
please.
that my item that I'm discussing today is Department 5, Community Transportation Coordination for Transportation Disadvantage. My name is Melody Hearn.
Ma'am, I'm sorry. Can you pull the mic down, please? Thank you.
Short stuff here.
That's all right.
My name is Melody Hearn. I've been to the Transportation Disadvantage Committee meetings. I represent Area 15 of the Family Care Council, which is the council appointed by the governor, or a governor appointee, to speak and educate and empower those individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities. So I've come to this meeting to ask you, as Martin County, to assist the state in helping our individuals who are now required to approach employment, because we are an employment state and country. Employment first, meaning before they're placed in more confined situations, they should have first and foremost the least restrictive environment. And that is helping them to train and to be in the public and in their community, to have access. That means transportation, that means housing, that means all the other things that we need for those individuals to be safe, as well as their companion services from the Agency for Persons with Disabilities. And so that is who I am under in legislation. Legislation is Florida Statute 393 for those with intellectual and developmental disabilities. So I'll leave my card, I'll leave my brochure. I was hoping to be able to present during Transportation Disadvantage. I don't know when that will be, but I am a proponent for adding your share, Martin County, to the Transportation Disadvantage of the state, as well as upping that portion. We are looking all over for those who will add to it, and you have a brochure out here called the Treasure Coast Advantage Ride Door-to-Door Service for those with intellectual disabilities. I helped your provider here of transportation to reach out to the Developmental Disabilities Council of Florida seeking the Rural Transportation Grant, which helps fund this. So please, I spoke all over the state, I've spoke with legislators, I go to Tallahassee every year to advocate That's my word, because I am a mother of a person with Down syndrome. I'm wearing my Down syndrome ribbon. And he has used this transportation from St. Lucie to come into Martin. Individuals can go from Okeechobee to Indian River to Martin to St. Lucie through this Advantage ride that you have the brochure out there in your cubbies. So if you would like to speak with me, I'll hang around till whatever time you're done. Thank you so very much.
Thank you very much. Okay, that's it on public speakers? Okay, I jumped ahead a little bit more further than I wish. We will take up the public hearing item number 1 first. That way we can get that process going, because it'll take probably a half hour to do signatures and all. So let's take up public hearing item 1, which is to consider resolution authorizing the issuance of Martin County, Florida Revenue Funding Bonds, refunding bonds, Florida Power and Light Company Project, Series 2022. The Series 2022 bonds in the aggregate principal amount not to exceed $95,700,000.
Yes, good morning, Commissioners. Elise Elder, Senior Assistant County Attorney. Like Commissioner Smith said, this is a public hearing to consider a resolution authorizing the issuance of revenue refunding bonds. This was requested by FP&L. We actually have our bond counsel here, Dwayne Draper, and he's going to present the public hearing. But before he does that, I put a certificate as to public meetings and no voting conflict of interest at each of your chairs this morning. I'm going to pass this paper around for each of you to sign during the public meeting. Basically, it says that 2 of you haven't met and made a decision about this public hearing, and that each of you do not have a conflict of interest for voting on this public hearing. So if you can sign that during the public hearing, and then Mr. Draper will present the public hearing.
Good morning, Mr. Draper. How are you this morning?
Great. Thank you, Chairman and Board of County Commissioners. It's nice to be here today. Dwayne Draper at Bryant, Miller, and Olive, and we have the privilege of serving as bond counsel to Martin County. Today's public hearing is for federal tax law purposes. It is concerning the issuance of not to exceed $95,700,000 in aggregate principal amount of revenue refunding bonds to enable Florida Power and Light Company to refinance some existing indebtedness that dates back to the financing of facilities in the county. The bonds that you're being asked to approve today would not be a financial obligation or compel the ad valorem taxing power or have any financial ramifications with regard to the county. The county is purely a conduit issuer. Florida Power and Light Company would be responsible for all of the debt service on the bonds. Members of the public, through a notice that was published for this particular meeting, were invited to provide written comments in advance or to participate today in the public hearing if they so desire. I'm not aware of any submitted comments in writing beforehand. Unless anyone else has any questions, I'll conclude by saying the chairman should open the public hearing and invite members of the public who wish to be heard to speak. And then following that public hearing, we would ask that the BOCC approve resolution number 22-0938 to authorize the issuance and approve for federal tax purposes the bonds, and that the motion also approve the form of and authorize the execution and delivery of the loan agreement, trust indenture, underwriting agreement, and official statement, which were included in the agenda package. And that concludes my remarks.
Thank you very much. Commissioners, any questions? Seeing none, this is a public hearing. Does anybody from the public wish to speak on this item? It is public hearing item number 1. It is the issuance of the Martin County Revenue Funding Bonds for Florida Power and Light, Series 2022, in the amount of $95,700,000.
Not to exceed.
Not to exceed. Anybody from the public? Seeing none, back to the board. Commissioner Campy.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I would make a motion to accept the language that Mr. Draper had mentioned for 22-0938. As the language is written in the recommendation in the agenda item.
Second that.
We have a motion, we have a second. Is there any further discussion on the motion? All in favor of the motion, say aye. Aye. All is opposed. Motion carries unanimously. We will take about a half-hour break thereabouts, and we will be back.
committees before.
Just 2 seconds, okay?
So Don will be ready.
Okay, welcome back, everybody. Thank you for our long intermission. We did our bond signing, all that kind of stuff. We're going to come back to commissioner comments. Commissioner Jenkins, do you have anything this morning?
I'm good, thank you.
Commissioner Heatherington?
I'm all set, thank you.
Commissioner Campy?
I'm all set.
Commissioner Hurd?
I'm set.
Just a little point of clarity for some of our speakers this morning, and I guess we always have to take an opportunity to share this with folks if not everybody completely understands the relationship between the City of Stewart and the County Commission. This board, the five of us, effectively oversee unincorporated Martin County. Our comprehensive plan is basically the document, if you will, that does oversee all of unincorporated Martin County. All of our municipalities in the City of Stewart have their own comprehensive plans, and they have absolutely nothing to do with us, and vice versa. So what the City of Stewart does within the city limits is the city's business. It is not ours, and we have no say over them. Some of the lands that were referred to this morning were annexed back in the late 90s. And I wished that they were still in unincorporated Martin County, but they were annexed into the city, and they fall under their comprehensive plan. And again, what they do with their clearing, their wetlands, and so on is their business, not ours. Other than that, Commissioner Campy?
Thank you. I apologize for switching. I just wanted to take a moment to recognize a loss that we've had in our community. I feel sadly that I've been doing this, it seems more frequently than I would prefer to, but the pastor Rick Addison from the Grace Place had passed away yesterday.
Oh, wow.
And remarkable superstar, wonderful person, great family man, ran the Grace Place for many, many years. Fantastic organization, and I just wanted to send our condolences and our prayers to his family and loved ones and his flock, if you will. So, Rick Addison, thank you very much for everything you did for us, and God bless you as you are now home. Thanks.
Thank you for that, Commissioner. You always do a really good job of that. You know, and you're absolutely correct, Rick. And Rick has been fighting this health battle for a long time. And so we wish his family the very best. We're sorry to lose him and see him go. But I somehow feel that what he was dealing with all these years, these last years that he's been fighting all this, has probably been more difficult than most would ever imagine. So with that, Ms. Cruz, do you have anything this morning? Ms. Elder, you have anything this morning? Okay, just quickly, Donna will do the value adjustment board. I'm sorry, I should have given you a key or heads up over there. Did you need that on the last one? Sorry. And then we'll take up the consent polls. Good morning.
Hello.
Hello.
Donna Gordon for administration. This is for the Value Adjustment Board. There was 2 applicants, and Ms. Diane Castellucci received 5 votes.
Okay, we need a motion.
Appointment of Diane Castellucci to the Value Adjustment Board.
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second. Any discussion? Anybody from the public wish to comment on that? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries unanimously. Donna, thank you for that. We will come back to our 3 polls, correct? Consent item 8, request for fine reduction stipulation and agreed commended order, regarding the code enforcement case of Oron Alstrom, case number 12-0065335. Mr. Masson, good morning.
Yes, I'm here to answer any questions on the consent.
Would you just explain to me what this is about?
I'm going to let Ms. Spradley go through it since was directly involved in presenting the cases to the magistrate, so.
So on this one, the gentleman that took possession of the property, which was 3152 Hawthorne Street, requested a fine reduction on a lien that was placed on the property when Mr. Olstrom actually owned the property.
So it's 2022. This has just been resolved. Has it been in compliance or out of compliance since 20?
Yeah, we won't reduce a fine unless the property is in compliance. That's part of the.
So why wasn't it settled in 2013?
Good question. They didn't request the fine reduction. I don't know the answer to that.
And do we know that the ownership has indeed changed, or they just changed names?
No, ma'am, it changed hands.
We're fairly confident Mr. Alstrom is deceased.
Mr. Pepe's here.
Okay.
The manager. He's here.
Hi, I'm Frank Pepe, president of Sun Lovers Homes. We took the property over in of 2013. We took multiple properties from Mr. Alstrom at the time. They were all in bad shapes, and there was a lot of code violations on a number of properties. So what I did is, once I took them over, is we were trying to clear up all the code violations. We had tenants in there. In fact, in this house was a drug dealer, so we were working with the sheriff's department to try to get him out and kind of clean up the neighborhood a little bit. So, so we brought it into compliance a few months after we had bought the house. We just never did anything with the, with the fines. We didn't realize there were fines or anything attached to the property. We thought Mr. Alstrom took care of everything, and he did. And he did pass away last year. But I'm the owner of the property since 2013. So now that we were selling the properties, these popped up that we have fine violations. So, I'm willing to, the department helped me out to get a fine reduction. So we're willing to pay him just so we could, clear title for the property.
Okay, so you've owned both these properties, the one on Hawthorne and the one on, on Kingfish?
The one on
2013?
Kingfish, actually, yeah, I think that property was actually not one that I owned. It was a property he owned at the time that he lost through a tax deed foreclosure sale. But because it showed up, I was told that I'd have to do something to clear the title because it attaches to other properties.
Okay. Okay, in that case, I'd move approval of consent 9.
Second.
I'm sorry, is that 8 and 10?
Just for a point of clarification, as a rule, folks don't settle these liens until they're faced with a property sale.
Well, as long
Even
as
though they may have brought it into compliance and this fine had stopped, as a rule, we don't see them until they're ready to sell the property because we're a lien holder.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so your motion, Commissioner, was for 8, 9, and 10?
No,
No, 8.
8 and 10.
8 and 10. Okay, we have a motion, and did we have a second?
Yes.
We have a motion and a second. Anybody from the public wish to comment on these two items? Seeing none, back to the board. All in favor of the motion, say aye. Aye. All is opposed. Motion carries unanimously. Commissioner Hurd, you polled also, I believe, consent
Yeah.
9.
So this was found in violation of swimming pools, undergrowth, nuisance weeds in 2016. Compliance wasn't achieved until 2021. So for 5 years, the neighbors had to endure this eyesore,
Well, that is correct. Yes, ma'am.
which if I was the neighbor, I would be displeased with our code enforcement about that. So then the staff recommended a fine of $16,430 for being out of compliance for 5 years. And the special magistrate reduced it to $5,000?
That is correct. Based on, Mr. Culberson appeared before the magistrate, made an argument. It was staff's recommendation that the fine be reduced to 10 cents on the dollar on the fine. Mr. Culberson represented himself, and the magistrate ultimately landed on a $5,000 fine. Yes.
Good, I'd like to hear from him.
Mr. Culberson, good morning.
Morning.
How are you?
Just fine.
Well, the pool is not just dirty. The pool is not dirty for 5 years. There was previous problems with the swimming pool with the previous owners, and they were having a problem with that. I bought the place as it was. The day I uncovered the swimming pool is the day they posted all the notes. It was covered with wood. I had to take it all to the dump. We get back there and it was tags over the freshly painted door. It was a wreck. I was fixing the place up. I talked to Miss Bradley that day. Oh, okay. She knew who I was. And then I thought it went away because that's when we started to clean the pool up. Had to hire someone to do it. I couldn't. You know what was wrong with it. So anyhow, I didn't know there was a lien on it till I went to sell the place. You know, I've had tenants in there, different tenants over the years. That pool did not stay. They had kids. The pool did not stay dirty like that. That's just not the truth. And I was never notified properly. I never lived on that property. I lived on the same property where I lived for 30 years. I get all my mail there. They were sending the mail to the rental unit. You know, I don't check my tenant's mail. It's against the law for me to do that to start with. So,
Well, this was out of, you've been the owner the entire time.
yes.
And it's been out of compliance for 5 years, and $380,000 worth of fines accrued.
Yes, ma'am.
How do you reduce that to $5,000?
Well, we followed the ordinance. When Mr. Culberson requested a reduction, the ordinance provides for 10 cents on the dollar. A presentation is made in front of the magistrate, and ultimately, the magistrate landed on a reduced number, contrary to what staff had recommended.
I don't begin to claim to understand this, but I suppose we have to live with the magistrate's decision.
It's just a recommendation by the magistrate that has to have board approval.
What's it?
So you can do something else. I wasn't at the hearing, Commissioner, but it's a recommendation to the board. The board can take into consideration and do something else if it chooses. It's just a recommendation.
And the value of the property is not even worth the lien they were trying to make. And your method of serving people is pretty, it needs some work, you know?
So if we have a violation, we serve the address rather than the owner?
No, ma'am. We serve the property appraiser's address, which is what he had listed at the time was the 32 Tahoe Terrace. We are bound under Chapter 162 to go by the property appraiser.
And there's a statutory provision that our building department follows to notify property owners of violations. And that's what our building department follows. So whatever address he had on file with the property appraiser is the address that they served the violation to.
That's a type error. I've never lived there. Lived in the same place. My tax bill, my voter's registration, everything comes to my address. Driver's license.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Campy.
We have a series of these that come up every now and again, and I know that Mr. Massing had said in the past that he and his department is looking to have compliance more so than be punitive and punish people. I can imagine, the meter continuing to run on existing violations, but if our staff is telling us and through the magistrate process, I didn't watch that, I wasn't there either. If the magistrate who is handling these cases for a long time and our staff, that's what the number that came to us is. I don't want to second guess the magistrate, and I will make a motion to accept staff's recommendation.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a second. I will just add to, I think, Ed's comments that in the years where we didn't use a special magistrate, it was a very different process, and it was a real pain in the rear, and it got really ugly for the board because then you're doing 5 opinions versus a magistrate who's hopefully looking at facts and compliance. And I think for the purposes of trying to get things in compliance, the magistrate was a much better way for us to go long-term.
Some years ago, we presented a workshop to the commission on just exactly what we're describing here, the fine reduction process. It's clearly defined by Martin County ordinance. We follow it. We made a recommendation in this particular instance to reduce it by standard practice to 10 cents on the dollar. It was the magistrate who determined a lesser amount. And it gets presented to the commission, and the commission has the authorization to accept, deny, and as far as we're concerned, we're just trying to follow the ordinance.
We have a motion, we have a second. Anybody from the public wish to weigh in on this item? Seeing none, back to the board. All in favor of the motion, say aye. Aye. All is opposed. Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay.
Can I ask I do have to get a copy of everything that's transpired throughout all this.
You can get with Mr. Massing, or,
I'll get it.
okay?
Thank you again.
Thank you, sir. Okay. We will take up public hearing item number 2, which we received a letter from this morning asking for this item and other items, I guess, to be tabled for public hearing item 2, 3, and quasi-judicial item number 1. I expect that somebody's going to explain, because again, we had some public comment this morning as to the applicant's right to table or to continue. So if we can make sure that we have just an explanation of that for the public that wishes to follow on with what we're doing, that would be most helpful.
Sure, I'll take it.
Sure.
Krista Story, Senior Assistant County Attorney. So, as you indicated, a letter came in late, very late yesterday afternoon, requesting the matter to be tabled, distinguishing it from being continued. A continuation of a public hearing would require a date certain. The applicant has not requested a continuation. Tabling is, and you all did that April 19th with these 3 items. And so the distinction there is that tabling is, does not move it forward to a specific date certain. It would require re-advertising of whatever would come forward at that time. That's exactly how we, got here today from the 19th, that there was a re-advertising of all 3 public hearings. So an applicant may request continuation, tabling, that's something in the board's discretion. I will distinguish for anyone that, sometimes because we have different processes and different codes relative to different things. Within Article 10, which relates to development applications, 2 of these matters before you are not development applications. Article 10 provides that the applicants for development applications are entitled to 2 continuations of public hearings. Only the 3rd item on the PUD, that's the only quasi-development application that you have before you. So it would be pursuant to, I think it's 10.6 of our code, it would be, an applicant could request 2 continuations of that. So tabling is a matter within the board's discretion. You can say yes, no, thank you. You could then continue forward with the public hearing if you so chose. You could continue it to a date certain if you so choose. And then the applications before you would simply just move forward to a later time. So those are choices within your discretion. Because these are comprehensive plan amendments, we don't have any specific provisions in the comprehensive plan or elsewhere related to a decision to table or continue. So,
Great.
Anyway.
Thank you, Ms. Story, for all that. I think that helps a little bit. Commissioner Campy.
Ms. Story, we're having 3 separate votes, or we're voting?
You need to, because these were advertised as public hearing, you need to go ahead and open the public hearing, see if there's any public comment, and then each item separately, as we did on April 19th, a motion to table, continue as you see fit.
Okay. Commissioner Hurd.
No,
Oh,
that was just a question. I was going to say something now.
okay. Go ahead.
Are you going to take public comment, do the whole thing? I'll go after.
On the agenda, actually.
Please run the agenda. I had a comment that I'll wait until after the public comment.
Thank you. Commissioner Hurd.
Yeah. When did you receive notification of this request?
Last night.
When?
It was late in the afternoon, about 4.
Approximately 3:30 or 4 o'clock, somewhere there in that time.
And what efforts did you make to notify the commissioners?
We forwarded it to senior staff, and it was forwarded to your aides.
By the time we did that, though, it was after 5.
What's that?
So I'm just trying to understand. I wasn't notified. So I'm just wondering what efforts were made to notify commissioners
We don't
and
do
public.
that usually, Commissioner Hurd.
I think it's
mean,
pretty important.
well, you
This
still
is
have-
this is one of the most controversial amendments we've ever seen. And if it's tabled at the last minute, I would expect, since the public is extremely participatory in this in these amendments, that there would have been a concerted effort to notify commissioners and the public.
Well,
So
I apologize.
what efforts
I
were
didn't do
made?
that. I did not do that.
Did you get in touch with any of the other commissioners?
No, ma'am.
Anybody get
Except
notification?
for the chair. I did call the chair
She left
And-
a voicemail for something else.
for something else, right? But I did communicate with Commissioner Smith as the chair, let him know that we had received a communication for it to be tabled. Since I did not know what the board action would be, you were still to be here for the meeting. So I did put notices on the windows on my way out last night at 6 o'clock so that individuals would know. But aside from that, I don't have a listserv of individuals that I would normally send emails to. We don't put it on our website. We handled this the same way we've handled every single other applicant who's asked to have an item either tabled or continued, or if they withdraw it, usually they're at the dais here. Right?
So how many, this has been tabled twice.
No, ma'am, this is the second request.
Okay, so how many more are they entitled to?
Just let me correct. I don't know if the applicant requested it be tabled the last time. I think that was the commission's determination on April 19th. So this is their first request. Commissioner, as the comprehensive plan does not have any guidance or requirements as to this issue. So that they're, unlike with a development application, which only one of these is, there is nothing codified in terms of entitlement or not entitlement to anything. So it is within the board's discretion how to proceed. It has, I will just share with you some of the, obviously, these are matters of, in addition to if there was any codes related to it, some due process considerations, just kind of generally speaking, in terms of allowing an applicant, whether it's for a plan amendment or development application, an opportunity to request that the matter be postponed, I'll use that kind of in quotes, and come before you at a later date. But that is your decision ultimately, how you want to handle it.
Okay, so just so I understand, the applicant has two opportunities to ask the board to continue or to table?
No, ma'am, in reference to the plan amendments, there is nothing within our code that limits those choices. If it was a development application, the applicant is entitled, our code provides the applicant shall be provided granted 2 continuances. The Board of County Commissioners always retains the right to continue, table. Those are all the board's options. So there's no numbers. There is no magic number one way or the other. It's just as how the board would like to proceed.
Thank you.
Okay.
Commissioner Jenkins?
I was just going to say, I found out by reading my email because it was copied to all of us. So.
Same.
Okay, so the plan here is to open up public hearing item number 2. Mr. Doolin, are you going to lead us off?
Workstation. Would you like me to do the full presentation, or would you like to?
I'd rather not.
Okay. To summarize, the CPA 21-08 Becker B14 text is a proposed text amendment to create a new future land use designation. It was considered by the local planning agency on January 20. The Board of County Commissioners considered it for transmittal on February 22. The adoption hearing was fully considered at April 19 and then tabled, and the applicant re-advertised and asked to come back today. And the letter that was just on the screen requests a table to no particular date, and I'll cease there if that suits the board.
Okay, back to the board. Anybody from the board wish to comment on staff's presentation? Mr. Rains, applicant?
Good morning. For the record, Bob Rains here on behalf of the applicant, and I would like for the record to reflect that I have with me the proof of notice requirements for both this item, the text amendment, and also the flu amendment. So I'd turn that into the clerk at this time. And again, we appreciate your patience and indulgence. This is our first request to table this item, and we would respectfully request that the letter that you sent, that was sent to you by Mr. Crady be put into the record, and that we receive a table on this matter to a date which we'll determine at a later time, and will again be required to re-advertise to all the surrounding property owners and notices. So we would respectfully request that you accept our request for a table.
Thank you, sir. Anybody from the public wish to, I'm sorry, anybody from the commission want to ask Mr. Rains anything?
Thank you.
Seeing none, anybody from the public wish to comment on this item and the request to table? Seeing none, back to the board.
I was waiting for Mr. Eloquent.
Commissioner Campy? Mr. Eloquent?
Well, it's very nice. I wrote it down to keep it nice and concise. Mr. Chairman, my opposition for the county-wide rural lifestyle amendment has not changed. I understand many believe this is an important tool for land planning. A vast number of our residents have made it very clear that they are not interested in a county-wide amendment option at this time. I do believe that the applicant should be afforded the opportunity to present their individual project and to explain in detail the environmental, economic, and societal benefits that I believe, and many others do, this individual project would bring to our community. This project should be given the opportunity to be heard by the commission and Martin County residents during a public meeting. So I would make a motion that we allow the applicant's request to table this item, and then I guess we'll do the subsequent items after this one.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a second. Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Item public hearing number 3, legislative public hearing to consider adoption of a comprehensive plan amendment, CPA 21-09, Becker B14, future land use amendment. Mr. Doolin.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This is a proposal to change the future land use designation from agricultural, 1 unit per 20 acres, to rural lifestyle on 1,493 acres, and only that 1,493 acres. And I'll cease the staff presentation there.
Fantastic. Commissioners, any questions for the staff? The applicant, Mr. Rains.
Good morning again. For the record, Bob Rains here on behalf of the applicant, and I would like for the record to reflect, as I previously stated, that I've turned the required return proof of notices to the surrounding property owners in for this future land use amendment. And again, we would respectfully request that you table this matter. Thank you.
Sir, Mr. Commissioner Campy.
Thank you. If there's no public comment, I would make a motion that the applicant's request to table be approved by the board. I believe that this project, even through the process that was controversial in the previous several months, I think this project has received a tremendous amount of public support and interest. And so I am very much interested in having the applicant have the opportunity to bring this project forward so that the commission and the public can hear of the advantages I believe this project has included.
So that was motion?
Yes, sir.
We have a motion?
Second.
We have a second. Any further discussion on the motion? Anybody from the public wish to comment on this item? Seeing none, back to the board. All in favor of the motion say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries unanimously. And the third item that we will take up prior to lunch is the public hearing quasi-judicial request for rezoning approval to the plan unit development PUD through the PUD agreement, including the master site plan for discovery for the Discovery Project H123-22. Mr. Walden.
Good
Mr.
morning.
Doolin.
Mr. Chair, and Pete Walden, Deputy Growth Management Director. This was a request for approval of the Discovery Plan Unit Development Zoning Agreement.
Well, can I stop you for 1 second? Do we need to go through the quasi-judicial?
No.
No?
Not if you're inclined to table it.
Yeah.
Okay, so you know that there is a request to table?
Yes, sir. As the prior land use and comprehensive plan text amendment has been tabled, the applicant has requested to table this PUD amendment as well.
Okay. Thank you for that. Commissioners, any questions of Mr. Walden?
They do have some notices to turn in as well.
Mr. Raines?
Yes, good morning. Once again, for the record, Bob Raines here on behalf of the applicant, and I would like for the record to reflect that I'm turning in the proof of notices for the PUD and site plan amendment that, for our notices to the surrounding property owners for this one. And as Ms. Story indicated, as Ms. Story indicated, we're asking this request under the Article 10 where we're entitled to two tables or postponements or continuances. So, and again, this is our first request, so.
And just because I think Krista went through very clearly what the differences were, you're still asking for tabling of this item as well?
Yes, sir, correct.
Okay, this is a public hearing. Anybody from the public wish to comment on this item, which is public hearing quasi-judicial item number 1? Okay, back to the board. Commissioner Campy?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. As I had mentioned previously, I believe that this project should be given the opportunity to make a presentation to us as the board and to the general public. I believe that what their PUD and their project, having had the opportunity to be informed of what benefits I believe it will have, not only for the residents of the project, but for our Martin County residents as a whole, I would make a motion to allow them to accept their request to table.
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second. Is there any further discussion on the motion? All in favor of the motion, say aye. Aye. All is opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you
Ryan,
very
See you
much.
in the future sometime. Okay, Commissioners, we're going to break for lunch. We will come back after lunch, to public hearing item number 4. And we'll be back. Is 1:30 all right for you? Okay.